The Ballad of the Landlord by Langston Hughes, 1901 to 1967. Landlord, landlord, my roof has sprung a leak. Don't you remember I told you about it way last week? Landlord, landlord, these steps is broken down. When you come up yourself, it's a wonder you don't fall down. $10 you say I owe you? $10 you say is due? Well, that's $10 more than I'll pay you till you fix this house up new. What? You gonna get eviction orders? You gonna cut off my heat? You gonna take my furniture and throw it in the street? You talking high and mighty. Talk on till you get through. You ain't gonna be able to say a word if I land my fist on you. Police, police, come and get this man. He's trying to ruin the government and overturn the land. Coppers whistle, patrol bell, arrest, precinct station, iron cell, headlines in press, man threatens landlord, tenant held, no bail, judge gives Negro 90 days in county jail. Okay, this is a poem by Langston Hughes. Langston Hughes was born in Joplin, Missouri. He was one of the innovators of jazz poetry, and I think this is a good example of it. Langston Hughes was one of the leaders of the Harlem Renaissance. The Harlem Renaissance was a movement in Harlem in the 1920s and 1930s, which was a revival of African American music, literature, fashion, theatre, politics, learning, poetry, and it was an influential movement, the New Negro movement. Now, this poem is about a landlord. This is a poem about a tenant, a black tenant, talking to the landlord. And if you look, it starts, landlord, landlord. Notice this comma at the beginning. This is an example of caesura. It's like a pause in the middle of the sentence to add emphasis to the importance of the landlord. The landlord, this is all addressed to the landlord. My roof has sprung a leak, so I've got a hole in my roof. Don't you remember I told you about it last week, but way back last week? Landlord, landlord, these steps is broken down. Notice the steps is, so it's showing that this is a Negro with not a great deal of education. When you come up yourself, it's a wonder you don't fall down. So the tenant is being very obsequious. He's couching it in terms, be careful you don't fall down because the steps are broken and I don't want you to hurt yourself. $10 you say I owe you? $10 you say is due? Well, that's $10 more than I'll pay you till you fix this house up new. So now the landlord's saying, you owe me $10. $10 is due. And the tenant says, well, I'm not going to pay you $10 until you fix the house. You need to fix the roof, fix this step. This is not an unreasonable thing. And in all of this, the tenant is very gentle, he's making basic requests for maintenance. And he clearly knows that he's living in a world where he needs to be deferential to the landlord, and he must be polite and not to offend the landlord. But here the landlord just demands money, and I think the landlord knows that he has all the power in this situation. What? You're going to get eviction orders? You're going to get a legal document to evict me from the house? You're going to cut off my heat? You're going to stop the heating? You're going to take my furniture and throw it in the street? And here the landlord is becoming more and more aggressive. And I think the tenant knows that if he refuses to pay, the landlord in the end has all the rights. You talking high and mighty, so you're talking high and mighty, you're being rude and snobbish. Talk on till you get through. So just keep going. You're not going to be able to say anything if I land my fist on you, if I hit you. So finally the tenant loses his temper, and he threatens to hit the landlord. And that here now we see that this is a racist society which is supported by institutional racism. Police, come and get this man. He's trying to ruin the government and overturn the land. And suddenly the landlord's accusing him of being a rebel. He's being a revolutionary because he's just asking for his house to be repaired. Copper's whistle, the whistle of a policeman, a patrol bell, arrest, precinct, station, iron cell. So the police arrives, the tenant is arrested, he's put into an iron cell. Headlines in press, so there are headlines in the newspaper. Man threatens landlord. Tenant held no bail. So the tenant is put in prison with no bail, and the judge gives the tenant, the black tenant, 90 days in the county jail. So it's 90 days in jail for just saying, I will hit you if you continue to be so rude and unpleasant to me. And here clearly the tenant is a criminal according to the justice system, according to the press, which thinks that the landlord is far more important. And these are racial stereotypes that put the tenant, who's black obviously, in jail. So, The Ballad of the Landlord by Langston Hughes.